This is the Lekker Rugby Pod with Harry Jones and MV Avella, brought to you by Sit and Cards.
Just a few minutes after the final whistle, and the Viva's a bit stunned, actually. The crowd was never really into it. In fact, around me, there were people screaming for people to get into it, but escort penalties, which benefited Ireland, actually, 10 of their 13 points came from the fallout of this new initiative protocol to have a clear path, no shepherds and guards and escorts, and that benefited them, but it was a choppy game. When Ireland were tough on the ruck and spoiled ball, which I think Roygar was able to reverse, Ratima was a bit in the blender, it didn't really go to their benefit because Ireland spent so much energy on their defense structure that they didn't have anything in attack. There was very few times when fluid, short pass, 2-3 meters, quick recycle worked. They were moving the ball on presentment because both sides were going for the jackal and the snaffle and the counter. Nick Berry seemed to like any kind of counter ruck for a while, and so it was very difficult to develop fluidity. In the end, Will Jordan does what he does, but fantastic hands by Wallace Satiti in the corner. The maul defense by New Zealand was superb. There was one maul stop 6 meters out just in front of me, and I saw that they were able to clamp and latch, almost a reverse latch, instead of the attacking team latching. New Zealand was able to bind and cohere them and stop them in such a way that Berry had to call it. Overall, I think it was one of those tough physical matches, plenty of niggle. The ruck was a war zone, but in the end, it did look like the rustier team was the home team. It's difficult to know why. You would think they'd be right in the thick of things with their season going, but the All Blacks didn't really seem troubled by too much. I have to look at the stats, but I'm looking around at this stadium and realizing that this is one of the first times that they've lost in a long, long time. So they're actually a little bit confused. I don't know how many times they've lost in the last 20 matches here in the Aviva. It is a massive, incredibly loud stadium, but it's become a bit of a, it's become a bit of a status symbol to be here. Sometimes I think when you get this good, you lose some of your anger and your spite. So they might need to revive some of that stuff because it seemed a little bit too polite. Guys that stood out to me being here, the sound on James Lowe's kicks are something that's difficult to capture on a TV screen. It's a sickening thud. It's like the ball's going to collapse. Some of the hands were good. Some of the hands were bad tonight. For about an hour and a half before the game, misty, drizzly rain. So the whole thing was just slick as hell. And so I don't blame the players. Also, there were a lot of high-low collisions. And then on presentment, like I said, the ball was moving around at the base. So the Nines had a tough time. In the end, Ireland put on players like Conor Murray, Cian Healy. Didn't make any sense. They were 10 down with 8 minutes to go. And you see how it's really important in today's Test rugby to have serious microwave impact players, not just, a few extra gears. You have to have someone who can change the game. That never looked like the case. So what a night, 23-13. It seemed like the drop by Kieran Frawley in space was just a gut punch, a coach killer. And the end, at that point, I think probably about 20 people from my section left. So that's my immediate reaction. No benefit of stats. Right now watching Justin Marshall and Razor do a big embrace. Razor looks like a new man. Good to see him smile. He's not breakdancing or doing any kind of hip hop, from what I can tell. And now he's doing his interview.
This is the Lekker Rugby Pod with Harry Jones and MV Avella, brought to you by Sit and Cards.